Hello everybody, I'm Lynn Burkett of MajorLeagueFishing.com with Kevin VanDam. And Kevin, when I think of you, I think of crankbaits. First and foremost, last spring you kind of wowed the world with deep crankbaits on the Bassmaster Elite Series Tour. Crankbaits have factored into your 2 Major League Fishing championships, but the thing I really associate with you more than anything is your KVD Squarebill crankbaits, especially the 2.5. That's my all-time favorite go-to fish catching bait. I think it's pretty high on your list.
No question. You know, the thing about a Squarebill crankbait is it's very efficient for those shallower zones to not only fish in a lot of different types of cover, but it's got great triggering qualities. I mean, the erratic action of that crankbait, the way it swims through the water and wanders around, it makes neutral bass and bite, you know, and that's what you want, is you want a bait that's working really hard for you to get more strikes, and that's what a good Squarebill like that will do.
And unlike a lot of crankbaits, you know, you get the design of the bill, you actually want to crash it into something, right?
Yeah, you definitely want to be hitting something with a crankbait if you can. Really all crankbaits, but these Squarebills are designed for heavier cover to kind of bulldoze their way through there and deflect off of it. I mean, you will get hung some, but that's part of it. I mean, the fish are in that stuff, and you have to get your bait in there to be able to get them out. You know, it'll kick around in there, and it stirs things up, and it gets the bass stirred up too, and they'll just bite them when they won't hit other presentations.
Is it a really good springtime bait when the fish are shallow?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a year-round bait for me. It seems like I've always got one tied on anywhere I go in the country. If you're trying to cover water in that, you know, 2 to 7 foot zone, it's an efficient bait in a lot of situations.
What are you going to throw those on? What kind of rod, reel, and line?
Yeah, I use my own signature cranking rods that I've developed with Quantum. It's a Tour KVD composite cranking rod, and I prefer typically a little bit shorter rod for Squarebills because I'm throwing it around cover and I need to make a good accurate cast. And having that composite blank, you know, where it's glass and graphite, it gives you the best of both worlds. You get the sensitivity to feel if you got a little piece of grass stuck on your bait, or if you get some slime on the bill or something like that, you can feel the difference with that. But it's also got the glass to give you that slower reaction time. And you know, I'll fish it with that, with a Quantum Smoke 200 HD crank and reel with a 5:3 to 1 gear ratio, and then just match the fluorocarbon line that I'm using to the type of cover in the situation. You know, the lighter line is going to make the bait run deeper. A lot of times I'm going to be throwing it right into the heart of some nasty cover, and I'm going to use 17 or 20 pound test. I've even used 25 and 30 before, so I just use whatever line I need to for the depth in the cover.
I wanted to ask you about is your favorite Squarebill story. 2011 Classic, does that ring a bell? Yeah,
that's the one where we really put the Strike King KVD 1.5 on the map. I put on a KVD 1.5 and a blackback chartreuse because the water was pretty stained there, and it was, you know, it was like magic. You know, I mean, I just started really catching them, and that was the time. I mean, I'd known about Squarebills for a long time before that, but that was the one time where it put that bait in front of the masses in a really big way on a big stage. And now the KVD Strike King 1.5 is the #1 selling crankbait in the country.
If you'd like to learn more about our anglers and how they make their living, go to MajorLeagueFishing.com.